Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are focusing in and zooming in on life hacks, how to deal with a narcissist, a psychologically manipulative person, someone who has you ensnared, somebody who has undermined you, your efforts, your thought process, your feelings, and has used an undue sense of control over you, a sense of force, a sense of criticism and judgment to make them feel like they are responsible for your emotional well-being. So the tables are twisted. In other words, you have lost a sense of self-fulfillment, autonomy, and independent control over yourself, and you have felt basically in a field of ensnarement with this person. A narcissist will create an energetic bond where there's always a hierarchy, where they are always superior to, better than you, and oftentimes will elicit triggers or rage to keep you subjugated or down. Whether it's criticism, whether it's talking behind your back, whether it's splitting, triangulating you, talking highly about another, and basically insinuating that you are underneath, worse than, or that you should feel afraid that you are not measuring up to their standards. And realize that really as you mature and grow, you will shed this need for self-evaluation or self-judgment based on this external locus of control. So external locus of control means that the judgment is forced onto you by somebody else. And really, when we talk about inner growth, personal growth, and really healing through this psychological tension is when you really arrive at the understanding that the locus of control has to and must be within you. That you have dominion over your emotions, your positivity, the space within you has to be claimed. And oftentimes when people are in relationships with a emotionally manipulative individual, a narcissist, someone who lacks empathy, someone who has an outright disrespect or lack of acknowledgement or validation of other people's needs, feelings, emotions, wishes, desires, dreams, when they don't validate that, they're not supportive. They, in fact, undermine and undercut and try to throw you off balance. This can create what we call an external locus of control, where one basically begins to feel that this person is more important and pleasing them is more important than living your own life and being free and honoring your inner voice, honoring your inner calling, honoring what you are comfortable with and happy with. So it's really, people live this repressed, and people say, well, what does repressed mean? It means when you have to silence or really shut down your own inner happiness, your own inner voice, your expression, your freedom, your spontaneity. All of these become subjugated, pushed down, or shut out for the happiness of this person. So there's what we call a self-sacrifice of yourself to the happiness of this person. And when it becomes out of balance, when the happiness of this person overshadows yours, when it's basically like an 80-20 rule or a 90-20 rule, when it's 80% about them, 20% about you. This can become very, very unhealthy because you're not allowed to live your values, your guidance. You're not allowed to live in your solar plexus, your I am center, your the center of your positive emotional feelings. Engaged right behind your belly button, where you kind of feel that empowerment and happiness. That really is the seat of your strength. And oftentimes people end up sacrificing their own inner strength, their own inner talents, their own inner voice, their own true self, and their own identity, which is your own personal feelings, thoughts, and emotions, which is your own identity. Your identity becomes almost like a reaction formation to this person. So it becomes reactionary to this person when it really should be an internal source of control. So remember that, come back to your center and give yourself some personal acknowledgement and reflection in terms of what you really want to do, be, have, and become, and get a very clear vision of that, and really get a feeling a feeling of what that feels like, of what happiness feels like. Get attuned to really what makes you happy, and not just living in a reaction personality or identity to this person, if that makes any sense. And I know that this is deep stuff and people are at all different levels of the journey, but you need to realize it's important for you to come from this internal locus of control, self-evaluation, in honoring and respecting and tuning into this and living from that on a very subconscious level, because and it is a process, it is a creating of a process that you really begin to live from that space. And then you'll find that this person who you had idealized, now you're getting a realistic or realized perspective of them, and realizing that it's not worth having them overpower you and over controlling you, and you no longer give them permission, or you no longer give them power over you. You realize that they are powerless over you when you realize how important it is for you to set your own boundaries and protecting of yourself, your vision for yourself, your emotions for yourself, and your goals. It becomes an I am, and your goals start to originate from within rather than reactionary from without. It's a whole different level of security, and really it's the tools that we discussed here on the channel and the Recovery Journal that are meant to empower you in that very intuitive and very deep gut level, and that is really about lifelong healing and strength for you. It's peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.